heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes, here back with another action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at an action figure of epic proportions, quite literally. It is none other than the Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi Batman Arkham Knight Catwoman. Now, I'm sure you guys can tell already, this is one that I am super excited for. I've heard nothing but positive things about it. So let's go ahead and get right into it, starting off with the ugly packaging. Now, I don't know how long I'm going to continue calling out Revoltech for their major downgrade in packaging, but as long as I feel like doing it, I'm going to continue to do so. But I did hear that there was a reason for it. I heard that the guy who was actually working on these dope packages, like you guys see to the left and right on your screen, I heard that he no longer works for Amazing Yamaguchi, and so that's why they decided to downgrade to something so simple. I'm pretty sure it's not that difficult to hire someone who's really good at creating arts, but whatever. This is what we've got for the time being. As you guys can see, we've got an image of the figure along the side. It says Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi on an all-gray background, Catwoman, Batman Arkham Knight DC. We've got an image of her on the side right here. Some more images along this side. Nothing much going on at the top, nothing at the bottom at all. And then, of course, on the back, we've got some poses we can get the figure into, as well as all the accessories right here. Some stuff I can't read because I imported it, and then the barcode in the bottom right. Now, anyway, let's go ahead and bust this figure out of the package. Now, straight out of the packaging, here we have what is quite literally the best 1/12 Catwoman from Arkham City / Arkham Knight. And I say this because I think this is literally the only one. But in my opinion, this is already one of the best Catwoman action figures that we've gotten. And I already know some people are going to say, oh, the McFarlane, it looked decent, but the proportions were still off no matter how good people want to say that action figure was. He added some curves to the back of it, and that's what made a lot of people buy it. And I mean quite literally a lot of people, because I'm not able to find that figure anywhere, but I could always find the rest of the wave. Anyway, some people might even want to say that the Moth-X is the best Catwoman action figure. And I mean, if you like very skinny, bad body built figures, then yeah, I mean, that might be it. That figure literally has no curves to it. And if you read comic books or play video games, or you've seen anything that has to do with superhero lore, you'll know that these characters are usually drawn with curves and they look outstanding. Now, granted, this figure is a tad bit exaggerated on the thighs, but if you collect Revoltech, then you already know they have exaggerated proportions, and it's usually just their particular style. One thing about me, I am never in my life going to complain about thick thighs, because the very first anime or video game character that I fell in love with was Chun-Li, and when I tell you that this figure rivals Chun-Li in the thighs, I ain't lying to you. I absolutely 1000% am all here for this. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a closer look at it so we can examine some of the details. First thing you'll notice right out of the packaging is that she is literally looking in two different directions. And in case you guys have never handled a Revoltech figure before, I want you guys to know that a lot of these do come with movable eyes. And so basically you can have her looking in any direction that you want her to, up, down, left, right, you name it. Now, this isn't a feature that I particularly care for. It's not bad, but I'd rather we just get several different faceplates where you can get her looking in different directions rather than trying to finagle with these eyes, because sometimes it can get annoying. But either way, the eyes look very nice. They're painted very well and they look good. The green really does complement the face. I dig that a lot. The mask and everything looks so good. The goggles are sculpted on this particular faceplate very nicely. The skin tone is painted very well. I love what they did with the eyelash. You can see she's got some mascara on, a little purplish, just adding a little bit of color to a figure that is like 90% black. So I really dig that a lot. The one thing I want to throw out there is, because some people are detail freaks, the chest piece, well, all of this was sculpted, but the face and the chest, the skin tone look a tad bit different on the face than it does on the chest. That's literally to be expected, but like I said, some people are crazy about those details, so I just wanted to throw that out there. Now moving on to the cat costume, as you can see, there's a whole lot of detail in here. Now I'm not about to go pull up a bunch of Arkham Knight reference pictures. I do remember Batman's costume was crazy detailed in that game, so I would imagine Catwoman's was the same thing. A whole lot of very tiny sculpt work and detail added into this suit from front to back. Everything looks really nice. You got the copyright DC logo right there on this lower flat piece, I guess. It's actually the waist piece, but it's like a double waist piece, actually. I just realized that. We've got a waist piece right here and then a waist piece right underneath it. It's not the most noticeable, but I guess you could say that this is just a belt. I don't remember if she was wearing a belt or not. She's got some pouches here. The only other bit of color we've got in the costume is some silvers that she has on her buckles. As you can see, they do have a cat logo on them. There's 2 right here, 1 right here, 2, 3 right here, and then all the way down to the shoes, which I really dig, man. Again, that detail carrying all the way down to the boots. But if you look at them if you first look at them, they almost look like stilettos, and it immediately made me think of that song, Stilettos, Pumps, in the Club. If y'all know that song, I'm sorry, but that song was lit. But anyway, you got some silver on the back of the boots too. So yeah, detail is pretty crazy on this figure, and I'm glad that they did that because, again, it is 90% black, so the detail really makes this thing pop. Now, anyway, let's go ahead and put her back so we can see how tall she stands. So when it comes to the height on this figure, to the top of her head, as you can see, she's right at about 6¼ inches tall, so just shy of 6½, which is fine. Of course, we will do some size comparisons. A little bit later to see how she stacks up with other figures. Moving on to articulation, this is where we get into some of our problems. Now, first off, she looks up about that much, which isn't too bad. You can definitely get her to look up, but the problem is you can see there's actually a gap in the neck for whatever reason, and if you look inside there, it's black. I don't know why they did that. What's inside there is where the peg connects the head and the neck, and they could have easily hidden that by a lot if the peg was the same color as the skin tone. But instead, they gave the peg, or gave it a black peg, which is very weird. I don't know why they did that. So either way, anytime you have her looking up, you are going to be able to see that, unless you have her kind of at an angle where it's not noticeable like this here. Anyway, she looks down just fine. Her head does move around just fine. A little bit much, actually. It's a lot looser than I want it to be. And one issue that I did run into with this figure is that this pops off way easier than I would like for it to. My cousin already warned me about this. I was hoping it was just a QC issue with his, but no, this pops off way easier than I wanted to. So that is one big problem I have with it. Now, moving on to the arms. As you can see, they don't really go up and out much at all unless you tuck that flap of her arm behind her, and then you get something like this, which isn't too bad, but you do see those Revoltech joints underneath when you do that. Now, she does have a built-in swivel right there. She does have a single jointed elbow, double jointed range. You can bend her arm all the way back. Her hands are on a hinge, which moves around well enough. You get plenty of range out of that. The torso is definitely the best part. As you guys can see, back quite a bit, forward all the way. Diaphragm joint works well, waist works well. Articulation wise at the torso, there is literally nothing you can't do, so I dig that. She kicks up much higher than I would have thought, so that's really good, especially for those kicking poses. She does do the splits quite well, but you got to hold the legs on there, otherwise they'll pop off. So yeah, just be wary of that. She does have a thigh swivel. Ugly ass knee joint. I don't like that at all. It's actually a hinge with a peg at the end of it, and when you bend it all the way, this is what you get. That is terrible. It looks like a crab. That is horrible. I wish they would have done that a little bit better, but what can I do? She does have a hinge right here at the knee, or a swivel right there at the knee. She actually has a swivel up here at the elbow as well. I forgot to mention that, but it's not like it's really necessary. Anyway, no other articulation right in this area here, but her foot goes down about that much, up about that much. Really good ankle rocker, and then she does have a toe hinge. So articulation wise, you can still get her in pretty much any kind of Catwoman pose. The only problem is, like, some of the joints don't quite look the best. But yeah, you can get her posed up very, very well. But again, man, look at those knees. That just looks so dang bad, man. That's not it. That is not it at all. Now, when it comes to accessories, first off, she comes right out of the packaging with a neutral smiling head sculpt and a pair of fist hands. She then comes with this kind of more neutral head sculpt where she's not smiling. Again, the eyes look a bit crooked on these, not as bad as the default one that I have straight out of the package, but you can still see it, so I do need to adjust those. She then also comes with this faceplate right here where she has her tongue out. Funny enough, this one looks absolutely perfect. Then she comes with this head sculpt right here, which is where she kind of has her teeth gritted. Obviously, this is for when she's in combat. She could be going up against Batman, Joker, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, whoever. She does come with extra sets of hands, 4 to be exact. She comes with some pointing fingers. She comes with kind of like some reaching, grabbing-ish type fingers, some cat claw hands, and then she comes with a pair of hands for holding on to her weapons, which, speaking of weapons, she comes with quite a few. First off, she comes with her rope, which this is, I guess this is kind of a version where it's like wrapped around someone. She's holding it, and this could be like wrapped around their waist or neck or whatever. She does come with an adjustable one, which this is really cool. It does have bendy wire inside here, so you can make this work however you want it to. And then she does come with one that just pegs onto her waist. So that's really, really dope. Now, moving right along, she does also come with gold, which this is dope. Hold on, let me grab it. Here we go. She comes with this kind of like, I don't know, I don't think it's a necklace, but I don't know, it's still cool. Maybe it is a necklace. I do dig the hell out of this though. Then she comes with one that's super dope. Now this right here is just, it's all one piece, but this looks so much better in person than seeing it in promo images. Like, I can't point out how much better this looks in hand than what we saw, and it's almost like a base piece. As you can see, there's nothing that comes apart, so that's dope. She does come with this really red diamond. I like this a whole lot as well. And then she does come with this necklace piece also, so that's dope, and you could probably put this on her. Now, last but not least, she comes with this piece right here for whenever you want to adjust the eyes, and literally all you got to do, let's see, which face do we want to mess up? You can see there's these holes back here where the eyes are pegged in. You just kind of move one around, and I'm not going to do it on camera because I can't. But yeah, that's pretty much all you do. You peg the end pieces of this thing right here, this tool, into the eyes, move them around however you want, and that's how you get her to look in different directions. Moving on to size comparisons, here she is standing next to some Metacom action figures. First off, we have her standing next to the Metacom toy, Batman Hush Batman, the Metacom toy, The Return of the Dark Knight, Big Batman. This is the one that comes from the 2-pack with Carrie Kelly. And then we also have her standing next to the Metacom toy, Batman Hush Catwoman, and you can clearly see the difference between her and this other Catwoman. You have one that's built like a 16-year-old skater boy, which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that if you're built like a skater boy, but I don't know, man. Again, I like my female figures with curves. This one, this ain't it. What did Lil Wayne say? I never like a bony bit. I only like them only thick. Shout out to the people that know that song. Here she is standing next to some more Metacom toy action figures. This time we have a female lineup. We have her standing next to the Metacom toy Batman Hush Harley Quinn, the Metacom toy Batman Hush Poison Ivy, and the Metacom toy Batman Hush Huntress. Once again, those proportions on these just, it really showcases. I would much rather have exaggerated proportions than just no body build at all. Like, look at the difference between these. And last, for all of the Mafex comparisons, I'm just going to say it once. All of these are Batman Hush figures. Here she is standing next to the Mafex Batman Hush Superman, the Joker, and of course, our boy Nightwing. And then lastly, for my people who like to see everything, here she is standing next to a DC Collectibles Batman Arkham Knight, a McFarlane Toys Rebirth Batman, and then a DC Multiverse Classic Batman. Now, when it comes to my final thoughts on this figure, I'm going to go ahead and say it, man. If you are a fan of the Arkham video game trilogy and you collect 1/12 scale action figures, this is probably as good as it's going to get when it comes to getting your hands on a Catwoman figure. I don't really see any other company touching this property anytime soon. You can say possibly SH Figuarts. For the most part, their Batman stuff has been terrible. Then, of course, Figma is Figma. Now, you do have the McFarlane Toys. Those are 7-inch, and come on, they don't even compare to something like this in several different aspects, so it's really not even debatable. And then, of course, you do also have the Mezco, which I think that theirs is more of a Arkham City-ish Catwoman, while this is Arkham Knight. It's not bad, but it's definitely not the best, and I've heard pretty bad things about that Catwoman figure. It looks good. The posability, I heard, is terrible, but I do think it comes with, I don't know, maybe a decent amount of accessories. I don't remember much about that figure. But anyway, diving back into this one, man, for the most part, I absolutely enjoy this figure. Now, I know there have been a lot of complaints on this one, man. Many people do enjoy it, but some of the complaints I've heard are that they don't like the proportions or the faces look too anime-esque, yada, 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 the same old bullcrap that people normally give whenever Revoltech puts out an action figure. At this point, it's Revoltech, guys. We know what to expect from them. They make anime figures the majority of the time. So when they do comic book characters, the costumes might have a hint of realism, but the faces are usually going to turn out anime looking because that's the property that they're used to making. And maybe they don't want to switch it up. Maybe they want to keep it this way. So if you don't want it, just don't buy it. I've seen so many people saying this and that, but then when you say something bad about their favorite company, they have every defense in the world for why whoever their favorite company is can make the mistakes that they make and get away with it. Guys, if you don't want something, don't buy it. Simple as that. That's all there is to it. Now, back to this figure here. If you enjoy Catwoman, I highly recommend this figure if you can get around the two issues that I pointed out. First off, the neck pops off easily. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that at all. That's probably the worst thing about this figure. The only other thing is the knees. I'm not a fan of the knees. They're just ugly. That's literally all there is to it. They function well. They look horrible. And I don't know, man. Hopefully at some point Revoltech will be able to fully balance aesthetics and articulation. But for the time being, this is the type of stuff we're going to deal with. If we really want to enjoy these figures, we're going to have to deal with some ugly joints here and there. The arms, from the looks of it, or the shoulders in particular, are not going to change. So this is what we're stuck with. I hate to say it, but it is what it is. Anyway, hope that you guys enjoyed this review. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That always helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon and make sure to follow me on everything you see listed below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. Have a great rest of your day, and bye.